With the downs and the ups that the PlayStation 3 had faced, it was refreshing to see the PlayStation 4 remain consistently dominant throughout its time. Several great titles were released throughout, some redefining gaming as we know it, while others pushed the boundaries of what consoles could achieve with their limited hardware. Let's look at 30 of the best PS4 games and reminisce on what made them great. Red Dead Redemption 2. Is Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the greatest games of all time, really the best Xbox One and PS4 title? Yes, it is, because even with the hardware limitations, Rockstar Games delivered an excellent open-world action-adventure. The story is fantastic, the characters, especially protagonist Arthur Morgan, are fantastic, and the gameplay, while not for everyone, is realistic and incredibly detailed, with a wide range of activities. Grand Theft Auto 5. Even with its numerous re-releases, Grand Theft Auto 5 remains an all-time classic. The campaign is memorable, with stellar set pieces and tons of activities. Grand Theft Auto Online was also a fantastic multiplayer component on top, even with all of its issues in the early years. While the current-gen version is recommended, Rockstar's open-world masterpiece is still amazing even on PS4. The Last of Us Remastered. Before it got the Part 1 treatment, if you're not content calling it a remake, The Last of Us was ported over to the PS4 and called a remaster. It ran in 1080p with a solid 60 frames per second, and the overall presentation with improved textures and lower pop-in made for a better experience. With the inclusion of Left Behind, it remains one of the best story-driven action-adventure titles of all time, and a great alternative to the remake. God of War Ragnarok. For all the cross-gen concerns and some familiar mechanics, God of War Ragnarok is pretty much everything that made the first game great, but more. More worlds to explore with more secrets, optional boss fights and challenges, more abilities, armor sets, perks, and gameplay systems. A proper post-game that ties into the story. It may shine best on PS5, but it's no slouch on PS4. The Last of Us Part 2. Brutal and unrelenting, The Last of Us Part 2 didn't hold back with the violence and gore. Its fidelity is on another level compared to the original, while the combat and stealth felt much better. The biggest controversy came from its story, especially the ending, but it offers a compelling tale of the vicious cycle of revenge. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Nathan Drake teams up with his long-lost brother Sam for a final treasure hunt and arguably his biggest adventure. Uncharted 4 played around with larger environments, but ultimately delivered the same epic set pieces and gorgeous visuals Naughty Dog is known for. More importantly, it provided a fitting end to Drake's legacy, resulting in an excellent tetralogy. Journey. Flower and Flow may have set that game company apart from others, but Journey is when it exploded. It would arrive on PS4 3 years after its PS3 release, but remained an emotional experience. Players traversed the desert with others randomly connected to their games, and you could carry out the entire journey with the same player or encounter others en route to the mountain. Fresh and fulfilling, it remains a timeless classic. Bloodborne. What can be said about From Software's masterpiece that hasn't been said already? A gothic Victorian-era setting melded with cosmic horror, terrifying bosses that pose some of the toughest challenges in gaming, and an overall aggressive approach to combat that continues to inspire games to date. Bloodborne is all of this and much more. We're probably never getting a remaster, but that doesn't stop us from hoping. Shadow of the Colossus. Bluepoint Games' Shadow of the Colossus brings the classic to life in new ways, remaking the visuals and reworking the controls for a more fluid experience. Otherwise, it remains as timeless as ever, with players venturing out to slay the massive colossi with your faithful steed Aggro, a blade that shows the way, and mad platforming skills. It's arguably Team Ico's best game, made all the better with the remake. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Regardless of its platform, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt remains one of the best-selling RPGs ever. Its combination of excellent storytelling, whether it's Geralt's mission to protect Ciri from the Wild Hunt or the side quests, make it easy to get lost. Astrobot Rescue Mission. Exclusive to PlayStation VR, ASTRO Bot Rescue Mission is perhaps one of the more underappreciated 3D platformers of all time. Its combination of platforming and exploration as Astrobot navigates 5 worlds to locate his missing crew is charming and a joy to play. The VR implementation is also seamless, enhancing the experience all the more. Res Infinite. Res Infinite is pretty much Res, which means a trippy rail shooter with an even trippier soundtrack. The biggest new addition is Area X, where players could freely explore, generating environments from particles and facing tougher foes. The fact that it's presented in Unreal Engine 4 made it all the more gorgeous. Tetris Effect. At its heart, Tetris Effect is just Tetris. You line up lines of blocks and clear them before progressing to the next stage. Of course, in the hands of Resinair Enhanced Games, players embarked on a dazzling journey of otherworldly art design and sublime music. It even added a new zone mechanic, where you could stop time and clear more than 4 lines, leading to some interesting new combos and strategies, and eventually added co-op for up to 3 players. Horizon Forbidden West. Aloy's latest adventure seemed almost impossible on PS4, given its fidelity on PS5. Nevertheless, Guerrilla Games made it happen, translating the massive open-world experience while maintaining fidelity. As a sequel, it expanded on almost everything that made the first game great, from the combat and story to the presentation and cutscenes, while adding tons of new content. Next Machina, Death Machine. Before it turned heads with Returnal, Housemarque flexed its bullet hell muscles with Nex Machina Death Machine. Fast-paced and beautiful, with particles out the wazoo, it's not just an homage to Smash TV or Robotron. It had Eugene Jarvis, who designed those very same classics, as a creative consultant. The result is a challenging but addictive twin-stick shoot-'em-up. Neo 2. Like all good sequels, Team Ninja's Neo 2 offers more of what players loved about the original. However, it added new mechanics, like the burst counter and yokai abilities, and upped the challenge. The new weapons, from the switchglaive to the fists, also felt great and fed into the new mechanics quite well. As frustrating as it could be, Neo 2 is the best realization of the series' masocore gameplay. Inside. Playdead's atmospheric puzzle platformer is a masterclass of pacing. It focuses on a lone boy who escapes capture and delves into a mysterious underwater laboratory with strange experiments. Things only get more bizarre, but the progression is seamless, and the controls airtight as you delve deeper into the unknown. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. While not a full-fledged sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales offers its unknown incredible story with a likable protagonist. The new Venom powers expanded on the already stellar combat, and venturing through Harlem while battling new enemies and bosses also felt great. It's the perfect follow-up, whether you collected everything or stuck around just for the story. Gran Turismo 7. When Gran Turismo 7 launched, it was already a great racing simulator with hundreds of cars and modes like GT Cafe that delved into their history. Post-launch, it received so much new content, whether it's the new cars, events, and tracks, or GT Cafe extra menus and scapes. It's the definitive racing experience on PS4, offering a deep, rewarding gameplay loop. It Takes Two. Regardless of the platform, Hazelight Studios' co-op platforming adventure is still an incredible title. The sheer variety of gameplay sequences is insane, as Cody and May's journey to fix their marriage encompasses multiple genres, complete with boss fights. That it could look and sound this good is just the cherry on top. Mortal Kombat 11. NetherRealm Studios' latest finale to the series was also its most epic, as heroes from the past and present team up to battle Kronika before the timeline resets. Aside from the story, Mortal Kombat 11 also offered tons of extra content, from a full 3D crypt to explore to the Towers of Time with plenty of challenges. Despite criticism of its movement, the fighting mechanics were also extremely solid and fun. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Resident Evil 7 has received plenty of appreciation for reviving the series as we know it. While set in first person, it returned to the survival horror and tension we loved about previous games. Its impressive attention to detail and fidelity thanks to the RE engine, not to mention its charismatic cast, still make it an incredible title for veterans and newcomers to the franchise. Infamous Second Son. Dilson Rowe isn't Cole McGrath, and Infamous Second Son isn't exactly on the level of the first two games. Nevertheless, it's a compelling open-world adventure with morally focused decisions and an impressive, albeit somewhat lifeless, depiction of Seattle. The new powers are also fun to experiment with, accompanied by gorgeous particle effects. It's not the genre's best, but a worthwhile experience nonetheless. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Even if it's considered one of the weaker stories in the series, Hideo Kojima's magnum opus is still a great title, packed with memorable moments. The sandbox gameplay offers unparalleled freedom in tackling missions, and the adaptive difficulty ensures enemies counter your attacks, offering incredible replay value. The fact that all of this is delivered on PS4 hardware running at 60 frames per second is also amazing. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima remains one of the best open-world action-adventure titles ever made. It offers an incredible campaign centered on Jin Sakai, who struggles between honor and winning the war against the invading Mongol forces in 1274 Tsushima. The stance-based combat is just so good and on point that it's ridiculous, while the world feels alive and avoids many of the genre's pitfalls. Of course, having an amazing multiplayer mode in Legends also doesn't hurt. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Like Super Mario 3D World, Sackboy: A Big Adventure is a 2.5D platformer with support for up to 4 players and more of an overhead perspective. It sees Sackboy venturing into Craft World to stop Vex, who has kidnapped the people of Sack People. The level design and array of incredible outfits, not to mention the many optional challenges, make it a fun experience, whether solo or in co-op. Death Stranding. Corpses that explode, leaving behind massive craters, rain that causes things to age, bridge babies used to detect monstrous BTs and avoid them. To this day, Death Stranding is a bizarre, unorthodox experience, whether you're delivering packages to Jeff Keighley or having part of an ear bitten off by Higgs. It's still absolutely gorgeous, even on PS4, and the soundtrack is the perfect mood setter. Dirt Rally. Dirt Rally 2.0 looks better, but the original is still a winner. Its depiction of rally racing combined with 70 stages, spanning Monte Carlo, Greece, Sweden, and more while offering 40 cars. Whether you indulge in rally championships and custom rally events or its various challenges, Dirt Rally is a challenging but rewarding racing title. Hitman 2. Hitman 2 ditched the episodic approach of the original for a complete campaign, introduced various new tools and methods for assassinating targets, and brought some incredible locations like Mumbai and Miami. Even if Ghost Mode didn't have legs, the sequel improved on a winning formula in fresh ways. Dreams. Dreams has evolved so much since its initial release in 2020. Media Molecule's creation toolset has expanded in numerous ways and received surprising user-created content, from art and music to full games. Of course, the developer also released lots of story-driven content, from Mega Penguin Rehatched and Ancient Daggers: A Bat's Tale, to the recent Trenton, the studio's biggest creation thus far. With support for Dreams ending earlier this year, there's no better time than now to experience it. And that brings us to the end of the video. A quick request: we upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.